I just wanted to quickly speak a little bit about Puncari. Puncari is actually referring to the tail of the peacock, because Govardhan is compared to a peacock, in the shape of a peacock, and this is then the tail of that peacock. So here we have various places. A little bit towards my left, your right then, is Doka Dauji, a form of Lord Balaram, who is seated there, crouched, and he's on the hill, so we can't go see him. But he is, when Krishna was performing Ras Leela pastimes with the gopis, then Balaram was looking, and as he looked, he became so absorbed in the pastimes that he turned black. So Doka Dauji is sitting crouched down looking, and is black. Yeah, then a little further back on that side is Apsaravan.
Some views now.
And here at Puncari, we have just nearby, we have the temple of Lota Baba, who is the who is one of the cowherd boys. And it is said, when Akrura was taking Krishna out of Vrindavan, first the gopis tried to stop him, right? And that didn't work. Akrura just took the chariot and just drove away mercilessly. But then, just here, as the chariot passed Govardhan, Lota Baba was standing there, and he was saying to Krishna, oh, you must come and take some prasad. I have something for you, you must take it. And Krishna said, yes, I will come, just now coming. Krishna said, yes, I will just now come, I'll be right back, right back. So Lota Baba then is still waiting today for Krishna to return. So Lota Baba, we will go there after just to take darshan, but because it's small, we cannot really sit there. So I thought I'll just explain it up here, and then when we're down there, we can just take the darshan. So Lota Baba is manifesting the quality of patience. Patience is also very essential in spiritual life, because what do we do without? We want everything instant. We want instant result on whatever we do, very quick. If we don't get quick result, we give up. We don't last very long. But in spiritual life, utsaha nischayat daryat tat karma pravartanat, that there is a need for enthusiasm, a need for determination, and a need for patience in spiritual life. Because initially we are conditioned souls, and we are practicing our spiritual life in the form of sadhana, or prescribed duties, prescribed devotional service according to prescribed rules and regulations. And it's a gradual cultivation. So patience is required. If we really want to attract Krishna, we surely will. If Lota Baba just remains firmly fixed in his determination that he will wait for Krishna to return, then Krishna will return. He will. You may not believe, but he will. Because Krishna is merciful, and Krishna is aware of the devotee's plight. Krishna is aware that the devotee is making this endeavor. So it's not that Krishna will not answer our prayers, Krishna will not reciprocate with our service. No, Krishna always will. And Krishna will always bestow his mercy upon us. It is just a matter of time before that will happen. And yeah, until that time, we have to have patience. But patience, not just patience alone, but patience with strong faith. If it's just patience, then it's just waiting. But patience with a strong faith that Krishna will surely reciprocate. Ye atamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajami aham. I will reward you according to your surrender. So in this way, it is certain that when we wait for Krishna and when we continue faithfully to perform our service, that Krishna will respond and reciprocate. And there's no doubt about it. And that faith has to be very strong, and then we can have the patience. But when our faith is thin, then patience is very difficult to maintain, see? Then it's like, well, I don't know, I'm just waiting for so long and still I'm not so advanced and I've tried so much, maybe it doesn't work. Right? That is the thing. When we have weak faith, then some doubt will also come as to, will the success be there of my service? So this strong faith is really needed. Success is guaranteed. It will come. Because Krishna is merciful. Krishna is Achyuta. He never fails to recognize any servant rendered. So Krishna, therefore, he will notice it. And if we continue our devotional service, it will purchase Krishna. There's no doubt about it. And then he will appear. Think of cases like Vasudeva the leper. Vasudeva the leper was such a personality. He was so fixed in his devotional service and in his devotional mood. And he had fully absorbed the spirit of a Vaishnava. His mood was Udvega Nadiva. Do not give any anxiety to any other living being. So there were some worms in his body because he had leprosy. So some worms fell out of his body. And then he thought, oh, now they will starve and they will die. So he picked them up and put them back. So he was really something else. And Vasudeva, he wanted to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he tried so hard. He heard that Mahaprabhu was there and he traveled as fast as he could to the place where Mahaprabhu was supposed to be. And then Vasudeva reached there too late. Mahaprabhu had already left. And then he broke down in such lamentation that he had missed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being soft-hearted and gentle, responded. He responded. And he returned to the spot. He returned. And he embraced Vasudeva. Then Vasudeva's body became very beautiful and cured from all disease. Then Vasudeva said, what will I do now? Before, I had no problem. Before, I was not attractive to anyone and therefore it was easy. He said, but now that I'm good looking and beautiful, oh, now I'll get so much trouble. So how do I deal with this? Stanam stita sutikatam tam vanamanubir. Just simply then, whomever you meet, stay here in this place and instruct everyone about Krishna. Yadadeke Taraka Krishna Upadesh. So this spirit of was the spirit of great faith. So great faith is our foundation. Faith depends on where we think our happiness will be. When we think happiness will be in a particular country, then we'll be very attached to that country. When we think our happiness will be in a certain social position, then we're very attached to that. Wherever we think our happiness will go, that's where our faith is, where we think happiness will be attained. Because the living being is by nature anandamaya vyasat, pleasure seeking. Therefore, our faith relates to where we think our happiness is. And obviously, our real happiness is with Krishna. So when we have this firm faith that Krishna is very soft-hearted and very merciful, then no matter how long we have to wait, we can wait. Then we can have patience. So that is something about the patience of Lota Baba. So we'll go there and can meditate. Then nearby we have the cave of Raghava Pandit. Raghava Pandit was showing Narottam and Srinivas the holy places in the Holy Dham, and this is described in the 5th chapter of the Bhakti Ratnakar. It's also included in the Veda base. One can find it there, that 5th chapter. And there, that 5th chapter of the Bhakti Ratnakar is very important because that gives authority to many places in Vrindavan. So this Nrsimha temple is also recognized, and just nearby, towards the right, my right, is then the cave of Raghava Pandit, who would reside there. Now it is said that in that cave, previously the cave was bigger. Anyway, that's one of those things, right? I don't know what to make of things like that, but they say. Previously it was bigger, and you know, amongst those who are a little skeptical can have a field day when they're out of that cave. Those who have great faith, they can appreciate. And then it is said that Radha and Krishna had pastimes in that cave, and it said Champakalata was also in that cave, and then that Champakalata returns as Raghava Pandit. So in this way we can appreciate that that cave has a particular pastime assigned to it. It is known as the Manikundala cave. So that is there, and then we are here in the temple of Lord Nrsimhadev. Of course, let me begin with, since we are Vrindavan, let me begin with Mother Yasoda, who is trying to get Krishna to take rest. And Krishna says, first, you haven't told me a story. You have to tell me a story, otherwise I will not go to sleep. So it's like, you didn't tell me any story. Then she says, okay, I will tell you a story. And Mother Yasoda begins to tell a story. And when she comes to the point that Lord Nrsimhadev ripped the abdomen of Hiranyakasipu and ripped him to shreds and took out the intestines, then Krishna started to peacefully sleep. So this is a sweet pastime of Krishna in relation to Lord Nrsimhadev. When we meditate on Lord Nrsimhadev, then we're meditating particularly on him as Vighna Vinasan. That means he's the protector, the destroyer, and particularly the destroyer of obstacles on the spiritual path, Vighna Vinasan. In the Navadvip Bhavataranga, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes to Nrsimhapalli he is praying to Lord Nrsimhadev to remove all the anarthas from his heart, so that he can, then can finally dedicate himself fully to Radha and Krishna. So in this way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev in relation to the service with Radha and Krishna, who are our principal deities. Still, in the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, there are a few deities mentioned that are particularly manifesting the potency of the Lord, and they are described as having the full power of the Lord within them. Sadaswarya Purna, and Nrsimhadev is one of them. So therefore, we see that particular appearance days are celebrated with great importance. One is the appearance day of Lord Ramachandra, another one is the appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev. They are mentioned there in the Lagu Bhagavatamrita as being particularly Sadaisvarya Purna. And we see that Lord Nrsimhadev has Vajranaka and Vajradamstra, or he has nails like thunderbolts, and he has also teeth like thunderbolts, very hard. He has his manes, his golden manes around his head, which are decorated with reddish blood, drops of blood from Hiranyakasipu. I mean, as the Lord ripped out the intestines, there was a little bit of splashing as well. And he has the garland of intestines around his neck. So the whole appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev is very intense if we look at Lord Nrsimhadev. But if we think about Lord Nrsimhadev, then we can appreciate that Lord Nrsimhadev is very soft-hearted, because he appeared out of his soft-heartedness towards Prahlad. He appeared because Hiranyakasipu was duly misbehaving with Prahlad, and the Lord just showed his extremely angry form to protect him. Therefore, I look at Lord Nrsimhadev as the personification of soft-heartedness. And as such, he is particularly inclined towards us. Because one may wonder, why do we need Lord Nrsimhadev to protect us? Why not just Krishna? Krishna can do the job. He lifted Govardhan, protected everyone very nicely. Krishna protected the cowherd boys from Aghasura. Krishna protected the cowherd boys from Kaliya. Krishna protected the residents of Vrindavan from a forest fire, from Bhagasura. Krishna so many times protected the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So, isn't Krishna enough as a protector? Looks like enough. Why do we have to separately go to Lord Nrsimhadev for protection? Why can't we just pray to Krishna, who protects his devotees all the time? Well, that is an important question, especially here in Vrindavan, where we look at Lord Nrsimhadev in the context of Krishna. And then we may consider that Krishna, he has multi-purpose. Multi-purpose. Krishna is also, he is just playing. As I said, Govardhan Hill, chastising Indra was not his main objective. His main objective was to have pastimes under the hill with the residents of Vrindavan. Another objective was to really show that he was the Supreme Lord. And then, although they still didn't believe it. Because they still thought that Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd boys were actually doing it. Anyhow, so somehow or other, Krishna certainly can kill all the demons, but Krishna has many purposes that he fulfills all at once. But Lord Nrsimhadev has only one purpose: to kill the demons, right? And to remove the demoniac tendencies from within, right? So Lord Nrsimhadev is completely focused on that. And since we are very much plagued by this conditioning, and the remnants of the age of Kali are so strong, we are so much affected actually by all the Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Upadruta. It is said, lazy, less intelligent, always disturbed by something. Yeah. Always. Yeah. That is our position. And that we carry with us for a long way into spiritual life, this inherent weakness of the age of Kali. Right? That is something, even after many years, even after knowing so much Shastra, even after being there, we are still residents of Kali and inherently weak. And because of that, so many remnants of previous inappropriate behavior in our heart. In the Satya Yuga, the great personalities all went back to Godhead. In the Treta Yuga, personalities who were less great, but still very great, went back to Godhead. All the others were in lower species. In the Dwapara Yuga, living entities went back to Godhead who were less qualified. It was easier to get the human birth with less qualification in the Dwapara Yuga than in previous yugas. And many went back to Godhead. In the Kali Yuga, the qualification for the human birth is not very high. The Kali Yuga, I compare it to education for those with learner's difficulties. This is the age where we, the school for those who are a little bit backward, bit retarded, and they somehow or other get the human form in Kali Yuga. Although we really by consciousness should have tail and hoofs and the various animal features, right? But somehow or other we're given human birth, although there are still many animalistic propensities. And sometimes I used to sit in boring meetings, very long ones, and then I would go around the room and look at all the people and think what animal I could see in them. And I had animals for all of them. One for Jayapataka Maharaj. I will not tell you which one. But he likes water polo. You have to guess now. It's not vicious. All these forms are included in us because life after life, birth after birth, so many forms, and we have the same mind. And all the subtle impressions of all these births are within us, still now. So you see, I have some justification for my sportive pastimes to make the meetings a little less boring. It gets boring in these meetings, I tell you. Anyhow, so if we think about it, the same mind has been with us and all kinds of impressions stored, and we should not even have had a human form. But somehow or other, we are now elevated to the human form, because in Kali Yuga it's easily given. And then we have the capacity to accept transcendental knowledge, to understand transcendental knowledge in the human form. But because of all our animalistic tendencies and animalistic noises, we need to somehow or other take shelter of Lord Nrsimhadev, who is Vigna Vinasan, who is the remover of all these obstacles that in the age of Kali is found everywhere. Who is not influenced by Kali? One who thinks he's not influenced by Kali is very much influenced by Kali. So somehow or other we can appreciate that we come to the Lord with special weakness, and that as such we need special mercy. So here our visit to the temple of Lord Nrsimhadev is of importance, and all prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev are important. It is quite interesting how Srila Prabhupada introduced Nrsimha worship in our movement when he was ill. He told the devotees, you can pray to Krishna that please grant my spiritual master more time because he hasn't finished his work, and then you can chant this prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev, which then was chanted and introduced into ISKCON. Now this prayer, Jayadev Goswami's prayer, is also chanted in the Gaudiya Math, but not as much as in ISKCON. Right? In ISKCON we chant it all the time. After every arti, here we go again. Namaste Narasimha. So we chant this prayer very much in our movement, actually. And we very much, somehow or other, that's the way Srila Prabhupada gave it to us. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur very much points out, Vigna Vinasan, the remover of obstacles. So we don't pray to Lord Nrsimhadev, oh, save these bones, save my blood, save all that. Right? Of course, when we go in the bus, we never fail, on our bus at least, to chant Namaste Narasimhaya. We do. But the body, the Lord may or may not save our body at times. That's not important. But what is really important, the Lord will never forsake our soul. Name Bhaktya Pranasyati. My devotee will never perish. So in this way, we appreciate Lord Nrsimhadev will always protect us on our destiny and make sure that we are on an auspicious destiny in this life and in the next. Maybe he's making these sounds because he has a little bit Nrsimha bhav. Could be. He does grunting sounds. So maybe then we'll continue, go towards our Lota Baba and offer our obeisances there, and then come back to the Manikunda Gufa, the cave of Raghava Pandit. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.